What's going on, guys? Got another video for today. Wanted to bring you 10 Wii U games that I would like to see ported to the Switch, just because they're good games or because they didn't have a good user base or this or that. But these are the 10 games that I decided to pick for the Wii U that I would like to see on the Switch. So first off, this was a launch title. I enjoyed the absolute shit out of this game. Such a fantastic game. And until Mario Kart 8 had come out, in my opinion, this was the best kart racer at that time. So that is Sonic and All-Stars Racing Transformed. You can get this on pretty much, I don't know, like 5 different systems: Vita, 3DS, Wii U, 360, PS3, PC, probably some other stuff too. I think you can get this on your phone now too, so iPhone and Android. So like 8 different platforms. Fantastic game. I would love to see this or a sequel to it on the Switch. Alright, then we got, here's a Platinum game, and this is never really talked about. It's kind of an underappreciated Wii U game. I think it's cool. It's very unique. Very reminiscent of Beautiful Joe, and that, you know, the character, he looks exactly like Beautiful Joe. And that's Wonderful 101. This is a really cool, creative, colorful, just charming game. It's a beautiful game too. The art style is really good. The boss fights are really great. Just a fantastic game, and I'd love to see it on the Switch. And you know, it wouldn't even be hard to port because it had a few motion things, but I don't think it was many, if any. Actually, I think it just had gyro stuff, which the Switch can do. Alright, so this was a late title for the Switch, or the Wii U, that I'd like to see on the Switch because nobody probably even bought it and or got to play it. And I think it's a real shame because it's actually a really good Paper Mario game that a lot of people judged on because it does have stickers in it, but it's really not that bad of a game, and I really think a lot of people are missing out by not playing this game. And that's Paper Mario Color Splash. Really good game, beautiful game. Just an amazing looking game. It really is. Like it truly looks like you're looking at paper. And if they did this on Wii U power, imagine what it would look like on the Switch. It would look even better. I don't know how it could because it already looks that good. Alright, so here, funny story to this one. This was something that Nintendo released digitally that I actually bought because I couldn't resist. I had to buy it. If you know my channel, I don't really like digital stuff, but I couldn't resist on these. And they released them in 2 separate packs, and then they released it physically, and then they released a Platinum Hit, and then they released it on the 3DS, so I own all of them. And that is NES Remix Pack, or yeah, Remix Pack. So it's the first one and the second one. Really fun, creative game. I think this was 20 bucks, or maybe 30, so they could bring it out for the Switch for like 20. There you go. You got like a cheap, budget-friendly game that people could buy. I would rebuy it again. There you go, Nintendo. This probably wouldn't even take that much work. Could probably do it in like a month. This was supposed to be a launch title for the Switch, or the Wii U. I keep getting the names confused. So this was supposed to be a launch title for the Wii U. This is one of my favorite Nintendo franchises of all time. Truly is. I've put so much time into this series. They're just very fun to replay because there's just so many different avenues you can take in the levels and different characters that you can use to facilitate beating the mission. And that, of course, is Pikmin 3. They could redo it, and they could even have it to where it would use the motion controls, because it has motion controls, sort of. I don't really know how that works because the only things we've seen so far is like Skyrim and Zelda and stuff. So I don't know if that's the limitation of the Joy-Cons, or I don't know. But Pikmin 3 is such a good game. Supposed to come out at launch, didn't. I think it came out 9 months later. I was pissed about it, but I still bought it day one. This is one of the few games out of my entire collection that I've actually 100%ed because I loved it that much. First playthrough, 100%ed. I had a blast with this game, and it's a real crying shame that nobody got to play this game. It's, you know, it was in the launch window of the system, and it's still one of the best looking games on the system. Like the glass and stuff in this game is some of the best glass you'll see in any video game. I don't know what they did to it, but it just looks good. I can't even, you just have to play the game and to know what I'm talking about. Here's a cool one. This kind of came out of left field, but we probably could have known Nintendo was going to make this at some point. And I would already assume that they're probably making it for the Switch. They'd be stupid not to at this point in time. Or they could be making a sequel to it where it's got more fleshed out features and stuff that you can design with. And that's Super Mario Maker. I picked this up day one. I actually... Hold that thought. I'm going to wear this for the rest of the video. So I picked this up day one at GameStop, got the sweet Mario hat, and I actually really enjoyed it, but I didn't play it as much because I think some big PS4 games came out around this time, and I just didn't get a chance to enjoy it. I don't even have the Wii U hooked up at my current setup, so, which is unfortunate because I need to, because these next 3 games I actually want to play a little bit more. Actually this too, and get some more enjoyment out of that. All those I've beaten many times and enjoyed. And but Super Mario Maker, there's really no beating it, but it is a very fun game, and I don't even know what else they could add to it. They could add... I really don't know what else they could add to it, but they could just bring it to the Switch, and I'm sure it would sell fantastic. Now here's one that kind of pissed me off when it launched. Miyamoto, for all the great he has done for the community and the industry and, you know, all the great that he's done, I think this was one of his worst ideas of all time, to force motion controls into this game. And it really pissed me off because this is, again, probably my top 5 favorite Nintendo franchises, and I have every single Star Fox game, so I'm obviously talking about Star Fox Zero. I just... this game could have been so much better, Miyamoto. Why did you have to force the motion controls? I just don't even understand it. They just didn't work good. They're clunky, they're clumsy, they're awful, they're just dreadful. I hated it. I forced myself to play through this one playthrough, and that's all I've ever done, and I put the game down. I feel really bad about that because this is, again, like I said, one of my favorite Nintendo franchises, and the controls just really turned me off. So again, I would double dip on it if it had flat out Star Fox 64 controls in the game. It should have had that as a separate option, which it kind of does, but it's still kind of shitty. So they should go back in. You want to keep the gimmicky gyro controls? I don't care. Do that. Well, actually you can't because you don't have the Wii U screen anymore. So they pretty much have to redesign it, which it could still have the gyro, but you wouldn't be able to look at the screen. But, yeah. So I don't know. It just wasn't for me. I didn't really enjoy it that much, so... I do want to go back and give it another playthrough and see if I enjoy it more. But it is definitely good, and it's a beautiful game. And like I said, I think this would do good on the Switch, do well on the Switch, if it came, because, you know, not a lot of people played it, and a lot of people were just turned off by the controls of it. And you know, I was as well, but I still bought it because I wanted it. And mine's still like super minty, and I needed it for the Wii U collection. But you know, I don't know. And again, Star Fox Guard, this is going to be kind of like a part 2 to this one particular game. Star Fox Guard. You know, I would probably digitally download that on the Switch. It's a fun little, you know, quick pick up and play game. It's honestly fun. It's kind of reminds me of Treasure Tracker in a sense, which I totally forgot to get out of the stack. So we're actually going to add number 11 there, but the next 2 are actually 9 and 10. So Treasure Tracker is number 11. Again, that's a fantastic game. I remember playing 3D World and just being like, man, these are fun as shit. Like, I would get so excited to get to the next Treasure Tracker level in 3D World. And then they finally announced the Treasure Tracker game, and that was probably that year. I think that was 2014. That was probably the most hyped game I was in that year after E3 was for Treasure Tracker, because it was just such a good game. Another game that really, I don't know where it is in the stack, but too many games. But you know, it's just such a good game, and it's a very beautiful game too. Like, they did all that with the Wii U horsepower. Imagine what they could do with the Switch horsepower. I've actually been playing this quite a bit lately, and when I show you my pickups, I've been picking up games for it again, and really just getting back into it. It's just kind of nice to, after work, to just take a shower, lay in bed, and play some Switch. Pop it on your nightstand, play with the Pro Controller. It's honestly kind of nice. So this next one, I actually haven't physically put into my Wii U yet. So I feel kind of bad, you know, saying that I want a port of it, but I think it would. I remember being hyped for this and like wanting to try it, and I know it got great review scores, and a lot of people loved it. It's an RPG, and you know, I just remember really wanting it, but I never sunk my teeth into it. Like, I think I did the update for it, but that's it, and I never played it. And that's Tokyo Mirage Sessions Fire Emblem Special Edition that I got. I would like to see a Switch port of this because I never played it on the Switch or the Wii U. God, I keep doing that. And like, I want to, but at this point in time, like, the Wii U's just, it's like last gen to me. So like, for me, whenever a console becomes last gen, it kind of just goes onto the back burner for like a couple of years, and then I start picking it up again. Like 360, I play it here and there, but I really don't. And PS3, when I streamed Quantum of Solace last weekend, that was the first time I had turned it on in probably 4 months. You know, I love the PS3. It's actually my biggest collection is probably original Xbox or PS3. I'm not sure. It's pretty neck and neck. But yeah, so Treasure Tracker is number 11, but this was the final game in the list that I was going to do. Now, this one has a beautiful collector's edition. It's an RPG, and I think there's only 2 RPGs on the whole console, so you probably know what this is before I even bring it up on the screen. But I probably got about 20 hours into this, and it's such a massive game. I think to fully experience it, I think you need to drop at least 200 to 300 hours into it, which is insane that an RPG can do that. And people were doing it within weeks, like 2 or 3 weeks. People were dropping that many hours into this game. So I know it's got to be good, and I know that I need to finish it, and I want to finish it before the sequel to the other one comes out. It's not a sequel to this, it's a sequel to the other one of this same franchise, but different universe in the franchise. But I remember picking this up the day it came out. I have the strategy guide. I actually need to pick that up from my parents' house. It's up in their attic. So I remember picking this up and just absolutely loving it, and then I just kind of stopped playing it. And that's Xenoblade Chronicles X. I think I just got too overwhelmed with it, and there was just too much out at the time that I just couldn't get into it. So I do want to go back and get into this, whether I do it on the Wii U or, you know, hopefully, usually around August, Nintendo does like a big direct about what they're going to be bringing out in the spring. So hopefully they announce some more ports. I'm okay with it. I'm going to rebuy Pokken. If they didn't have Pokken DX coming out, that would be in this list. I love Pokken. It's probably one of the greatest just quick fighting games you can play. It's so accessible to anybody. Anybody can pick that game up and play it. It's not even complicated, and it's quick to play, but it's hard to master. I'm really good with Charizard myself, and I think that, you know, it could be a big game bringing that to the Switch, because you could, you know, you can just take it anywhere, pop off the controller, set it up, and you got 2 people playing. So I mean, I think fighters could be like making a comeback, which would be really cool. And not that I actually even have it, but something that I would like to see on the Switch, which didn't happen for the Wii U, so it probably won't happen for the Switch, is Mortal Kombat XL. I still don't have that game. I really want that. Mortal Kombat is probably my favorite fighter next to Smash Bros. I really want to play XL, but I just haven't gotten around to buying it because it's still $40 to $60, and I just can't justify that price after they did what they did with the DLC. It just put a sour taste in my mouth because I grew up playing Mortal Kombat 3. That was the first fighting game I ever had. And I remember distinctly, you know, funny enough, I actually found that receipt the other day with Mortal Kombat and Kirby's Avalanche. So that'll be in another video that I was planning out of. Well, you'll see it when it comes out. But, you know, I picked that up in 1999, so it was 10/99, so it was October of 99 is when I picked that up at a Toys R Us. And like I remember taking it home, my dad was just like, you know, you can't play this, son, this is gory. You know, I had just turned 10 at that, so that was probably a birthday present is what that was. Because my birthday's in September. So I remember picking up Mortal Kombat 3 and playing it and loving the crap out of it. Unlocking stages, unlocking characters. Didn't have to pay for it. They didn't come out later. So like, that's why I'm so against DLC and patches and this and that. So with Mortal Kombat XL, they announced all that shit before the game was even out. They announced that at the same time that they announced the game. So I just can't support that. I'm sorry. Like, I wanted that game, but I just can't support it. Just can't do it. But this video's gone long enough. These were the 10 games that I'd like to see ported from the Wii U to the Switch. And I think all of them can actually happen. The only one that's not actually a Nintendo title is... actually, these are both not. And this has Fire Emblem characters in it, so I don't know if that actually counts as Nintendo, or if Tokyo Mirage Session, just whoever owns that, I have no idea. But peace out for now, guys. Till next time.
Come here, you little bummer!